When shopping in the center aisles of the grocery store, it is easy to get lost in the endless sea of packaged foods. But before you get overwhelmed, just breathe and remember to read the nutrition labels of the foods you're choosing. If you need more help learning how to read nutrition labels, we've provided a handout along with these videos that will teach you how to do that. Now, I'll be the first to admit, navigating the bread aisle can be really tricky. I mean, just look at the amount of options you have. Number one thing to remember is to look for a bread that has whole grain flour. A lot of brands try to trick consumers by claiming they're whole grain with vague terms like 7-grain or honey wheat, but these are not actually whole grain and not what you should be looking for when shopping for bread. The number one way to make sure a bread is whole grain is to check the ingredients list. The first ingredient should say something like whole wheat flour, 100% whole grain, or 100% whole wheat. So for example, this bread, the first ingredient says whole wheat flour, so this is a whole grain and a good option. The bread shouldn't say something like enriched flour or bleached flour because these are not whole grains. So this bread looks really healthy, right? It says 7 grains, it's brown, it's probably a whole grain, is what you must be thinking. But when you check the first ingredient on the back, it's actually enriched bleached flour. This is not a whole grain and not what you should be looking for when shopping for bread. One more important thing to remember when shopping for bread is to look for the fiber content. Bread is high in fiber if it contains 3 grams or more per 100 calories. Gluten-free breads are those that are made without gluten-containing flours such as wheat, barley, and rye, and instead are made with gluten-free flours such as cornstarch or rice flour. These products are good for you if you have celiac disease or some other issue digesting gluten. However, don't believe ads in popular media. If you don't have any issues digesting gluten, you really don't need to be eating gluten-free foods. Another important thing to note is that gluten-free breads often don't contain as much fiber as their gluten-containing counterparts. For example, this bread only has 1 gram of dietary fiber. Another thing to know is that many gluten-containing products are fortified with essential nutrients, whereas many of the gluten-free products are not fortified. So often by consuming gluten-free, you're missing out on essential nutrients.